Bonjour les amis, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Bonjour, welcome. Bienvenue en France, welcome to France, welcome to the Loire Valley. This is an impromptu stroll. I am on a road trip this weekend and I thought you might enjoy sharing the sights with me. Some of what I see here. I am in a small town known as Loches, L-O-C-H-E-S. About 6,000 people live here. I know many of my viewers are still asleep, so you'll catch the replay when you wake up, hopefully. But for those of you who are up, maybe in Europe, maybe in Australia or New Zealand, you should be able to catch this live. Today is market day in this small town, and I'm going to share with you some street vibes. Loches has a very renowned market, very busy in season. Look at that garlic. It's impressive. It's quieter now, of course. It's 11:30 in the morning. Bonjour, bonjour. Welcome. If you just joined me, this is Véro, your best French friend in France. On a road trip in the Loire Valley. Trying to go a little bit off the beaten path this weekend. The Loire Valley, the renowned chateaus get a lot of visitors, but there are other places like Loches in the southern part of the Touraine region. And what better day, I should say, to show you this town than on market day, on Saturday. This is the post office, friends. So when I tell you this is a city that's been around for quite a long time, that's still a walled city, actually. A lot of history here. I've shared some photos yesterday. Look at this guy. He's not happy because his owner is inside the store. He'll be back for you, don't worry. Bonjour. Long line for cheese, as you might guess, because this is France, right? So, lovely cheese in the Loire Valley and the Touraine. Yesterday I visited the historical part of town. I went inside the old walls that are still here today and visited the former royal city of Loches, the dungeon, the keep, where so much history happened. I shared those photos online, on Facebook, on Instagram. I hope you caught those. But today, back to French life. Saturday, before I go on to the next stop on my little road trip, I thought I would show you what locals are up to on a Saturday. Look at these beautiful buildings. You see this gorgeous stone on the facades, cream colored or white, known as the tuffeau, which you see so much in the Loire. And you see locals enjoying a drink on terrace, cafes. The Touraine is known as the Garden of France. Has been known for the Garden of France for quite a long time, which is why you see so much produce here at all the markets, and it's always good quality, most of it at least. Look at these salads here. The ones on the right here are the cornettes de Touraine. Those are the ones I buy. They're really good. Cornettes. And they always mention where the produce comes from. You see those endives, endives. It says Touraine. Val de Loire for the leeks here, les poireaux. Spinach from France. So everything is mentioned. It's quite a lively scene. I'll try not to bug people too much. We are going to go down the Rue de la République. There's always a Rue de la République, Street of the Republic in France, as you know, in most towns and villages. Local cafe with locals, le Grand Café des Arts. Everybody's here. Merci, monsieur. It's getting crowded. It's almost noon. This gentleman here sells some really nice specialties from the Poitou-Charentes, which is not the same region. It's southwest of the Touraine, including... Coucou again. Je monte. Merci, monsieur. So these are wonderful. They're made with fromage blanc, which is whipped cheese, and they taste delicious, very moist, and I'm going to come back and get some later. And these are pure butter, friends. Look at these, pure butter, and they taste delicious. It's called the broyé du Poitou. So I promised the gentleman I would come back and get some from my to share with my hiking group on Monday afternoon. I'll be back. Je vous vois tout à l'heure, monsieur. See, yay! See you later, he said. American accent. So here, like I said, lots of old stones and historic monuments in Loches. Here is one of the old gates that people used to go inside the medieval city. Dates back to the 15th century. I imagine there would have been a drawbridge here to protect the medieval city. La Porte Picoi, it's called, P-I-C-O-I. I'm going to go under it and then we'll continue up the Rue de la République. Bonjour friends, if you just joined, this is Véro. I'm taking you on a little stroll in the city of Loches, which is a small town in the southern part of the Touraine. Look at the buildings ahead of us. So the medieval city was around here, but the walls are over there and the royal city is up on the hill. This is where I've been staying, in this part of town. Lots of great boutiques. I've done some damage there, I'm afraid. And I want to turn around here and show you the Hôtel de Ville, the city hall, in a building that dates back to the early 16th century. Look at that. It's almost impossible to film it, actually. There you go. Look at this architecture. You see the tricolore, the French flag. And this is the gate, La Porte Picoi, we just went through. So this is how you access the oldest part of town. Lots of stairs in Loches and uphill, downhill, so be ready for that if you come here. When you come here, I hope it's really worth a visit. I spent the night in a lovely chambre d'hôte, like a bed and breakfast, and I'll be sharing information about this fine establishment later. Bonjour à tous, I see you pop up. The East Coast is starting to wake up in the United States. My Aussie and Kiwi friends have been up for a while. And it's the middle of the day for Europeans. All right, back to the Rue de la République. And we'll try and catch a few more street vibes and enjoy some of the stalls, though it's getting very busy. Some games here, board games. You can see they just left the Christmas lights on. It was really pretty at night, very quiet but very pretty yesterday. The old walls, the former royal city was all lit up. It was really beautiful in the cold weather. These are all soap-based products. Bonjour, madame. All soap-based products. We have some saucisson here. Look how pretty the display is for saucisson. That's essentially dry sausage for apéro. Lovely display. One of the prettiest I've seen for saucisson in my life. Bonjour. We have an Indian viewer as well. Welcome, welcome. I like Loches because you don't have too many chain stores. This is clearly an older store. It's une chapellerie. That means it sells hats. And I know I have one patron who started a conversation in our private Facebook group, La Bande de Véro, about hats recently, or what you put on your head. So Avi, this is for you if you watch this. Look at the different hats for gentlemen right here. And then you have the window display for ladies. Pardon, monsieur?
Pardon.
And you have the same one for ladies here. And let me tell you, it's been really cold this winter, I think. Cold and humid, so we have some berets. You can see it's not just for tourists. Sorry for the reflection here. So lots of things to see in the store. And it wouldn't be a market if you didn't have your rôtisserie. With a long line, long line. You see people catching up. Markets have always been a social thing too. This is where locals catch up once or twice a week, depending. And you can see the different types of carts they have. This is a really pretty one. You're more used maybe to seeing those, the caddie, or the traditional basket like the lady in front of me. Here is more cheese here, with a line as you might expect. And above us are some really old buildings. This one has an old ad still showing on the facade. It's really hard to read. I cannot tell what that business was. But this is une papeterie. Clothing. And the magic word in French life, solde. The big sale, which happens twice a year, in theory. I like how Loches has kept the tradition of the old medieval signs for businesses. You see the one on the left here, Nérola, and then the one for La Presse, which is your stationary newsstand. Welcome if you just joined us. We are in Loches, L-O-C-H-E-S, in the Loire Valley, the southern part of the Touraine. I'm on a road trip this weekend before I go to Paris next week. This is a store you see in a lot of French towns, La Quincaillerie. See that sign up there? Quincaillerie, really challenging to pronounce for non-French speakers. It's also called une droguerie, and it basically sells everything. If you need something for your house, they probably have it. Pots and pans, knives, anything. I see there are an official seller of Opinel, my favorite picnic knives, as you probably know if you followed me for a while. And then they also sell these caddies, I call them caddies, those shopping trolleys that a lot of people use. Ah, little one does one. Allez, allez! And you have some typical baskets here, the more traditional, but I see a lot of people carrying those. And look, they sell tablecloths, they sell everything you need. Coucou! Tu vas être dans la vidéo, c'est ça? So these are really handy stores. We have a great one in Tours on 2 different floors, and I've found everything I needed there when I needed something for my new place a few months ago. Really handy. More clothing. And so the market typically here in Loches, I hear, spreads around most of the streets here in the heart of town. So in the summer, it's got to be a lot bigger than this. But we do have quite a few merchants here, I must say. We are going to turn right. I hope I won't have connection issues here. And the Rue Agnès Sorel, Sorel, S-O-R-E-L. This is a street named after a famous mistress of a king named Charles VII, who was very important in this area. And she loved Loches and spent a lot of time here. It's a little quieter on this side. We have a charcutier who also breeds his own animals, apparently. And here is an artisan boulanger, a boulanger that has quite a few mentions on the window here, indicating he's an award-winning galette maker. You know the galette des rois, that traditional cake we eat in January for the Epiphany. Bonjour, bonjour, I see your messages. More produce, lots of produce. And we reach here a small square. There are quite a few. We are inside of in the medieval city, the old medieval city. The walls are after that. But I find it fitting to be here because this square is named La Place du Marché aux Légumes, the square of the vegetable market. So we can all imagine what was here a long time ago on this little square. and always those beautiful buildings. And in fact, in the distance there, the chateau, the grounds where different kings used to live or stay, is right above us over there. There is the tower here that's quite massive, La Tour Saint-Antoine, and this is the beffroi or belfry or clock tower of what used to be a big church, probably, because judging from the size of the tower. So lots of great vibes here in Loches, beautiful buildings, very interesting history. So if you come to the Loire Valley, and if you have a car, try and drive out here. It's about a 45-minute drive from Tours. You can use a train as well. You can ride a train. It would take a little longer because I think the train stops quite a bit along the way. So let me say, as always, a quick hello to all of you. My mask on, of course, those are the rules. Thank you for joining me in Loches today. I am off to Paris next week, and I will be running a couple of fun little events, one for my patrons, which will be fun on Friday and involves wine tasting. So I hope to see some of you in Paris next week. And until then, thank you for joining me today for this impromptu market tour in Loches, which is a lovely city in the southern part of the Touraine, in the Loire Valley. And I see a question: what is une triperie? Triperie is a place that sells tripes. You know, a lot of French dishes, some at least, traditional French cuisine are cooked, made with innards and tripes. Triperie is what it means. Thank you, friends, for joining me today. À bientôt et bon week-end à tous.